Hello and welcome to the Art Market podcast. Hello, I'm here in the studio with designer maker Catherine Edwards. Hello, Catherine.
Hello, Fiona.
Now, for our listeners, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yes, certainly. I started off when I was about 16 working for the local clogmaker as a Saturday girl. Basically outgrew him. I went up to London to study at a college called Cordwainers, which is actually part of the London College of Fashion. Now it was actually part of Central and St Martin's back then. There for best part of 3 years, studying how to design and make shoes, which was absolutely brilliant. You know, it taught me a lot about the insides of the industry, a lot of technical information. However, I wanted to very much go down the handmade route, so I got an apprenticeship, quite a rare apprenticeship, with one of the West End bootmakers. It's no longer in existence, actually. Henry Maxwell, they used to make riding boots for the landed gentry and so on. So when Maxwell's folded, I got taken on by another company, also in West End, actually in St James's, called John Lobbs, as one of their in-house apprentices. So I worked actually within the West End of London for about 4 or 5 years, and eventually got sent up to West Yorkshire to complete my training. A shoemaker's apprenticeship is normally about 5 years long, and I, as I say, done about 4 years by that point. So when I came up here, I established myself here. I got my own studio and began working as a freelance shoemaker. I amazingly, through a complete kind of set of coincidences, got placement at the Royal Armouries. I actually ended up being shoemaker to the Royal Armouries for 2 years, working with a medieval saddler who had got a contract for the Ministry of Defence, making jackboots for the household cavalry. And he had no idea where to begin with these jackboots, and because I'd come from that sort of background, I was his obvious choice, basically, to give him a hand, which was fantastic. It was my best job ever. It was involving kind of running around after various actors, sewing up their jerkins, and one day I'd be making shoes for the V&A, the next day I'd be making shoes for the Globe Theatre, you know, down in London, and then I'd be back to making the old thigh boots for the household cavalry. So it was like my dream job, really, has to be said. So once I'd finished that, once the placement came to an end, I decided that I really couldn't go back to just full-time shoemaking. I needed another direction, which was, for me, making bags and making to commission. And from there, I took a stand at Harrogate Craft Fair, and really that was the making of me. That first year got so many contacts, I was absolutely rushed off my feet. The orders were just thick and fast, and for that whole year, just doing that one stint at Harrogate sustained me until the following year. And thank goodness I did it, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you now, you know. So yeah, it was
so
great.
Interesting hearing your story and where you've come from, and the fact that you kind of really, you know, you really worked as a on a trade that kind of
that very traditional kind of training that I had, which I mean I think that's kind of fundamental now. You know, I think that I couldn't do what I'm doing now if I didn't have all those really substantial skills and that very, very sort of traditional kind of grounding that I had. You know,
and it's quite rare as well, isn't it, to
it
have
is now,
to have
those
that
skills. And you know, in some ways, it's a shame. The bag making has kind of taken over from the shoemaking, but actually, it allows me a lot more freedom. It allows me to work for myself, you know, and to work under my own name, which I could never do as a shoemaker, you know. So.
Are you ever tempted to make a pair of shoes?
I do still make shoes, very occasionally, and particularly if relatives are getting married. I made my husband's wedding shoes, I made my brother's wedding shoes, and my father's shoes for when I got married, when he was giving me away, and all that sort of terribly romantic stuff, you know, and just don't make shoes for myself, really.
You should do. You should have a pair of shoes for yourself, and I want one.
I'm very good at making them for men, but I'm not terribly good at making them for women.
So have they still got those shoes?
Oh, they've still got them. They'll last a lifetime.
So it's something that they can pass on through generations. Where are you based at the moment?
At the moment, and probably for the foreseeable future, I am based in the small West Yorkshire Pennine town of Hebden Bridge. I have a fantastic little workshop, all to myself. in Brooklyn Studios within Hebden Bridge itself, right in the centre of Hebden Bridge. I work with 13 other artists and craftspeople, mostly printmakers and fine artists. So we have a purpose-built gallery within our studio group, and where we can put on our own exhibitions, which we do actually twice a year. We have a Hebden-wide event called Open Studios, which allows the public, general public, to actually come in and have a nosy around our studios. We're normally closed to the public, so twice a year, every year, everybody gets to come and see what we do day to day, and gets to be able to buy straight from us pieces of work.
Fantastic. Do you find being in a studio with lots of different artists, you find that inspirational?
Actually, that is what inspires me, yeah. I would say that almost above anything, it's the relationship that you have with the people you work with and those around you, and the fact that they're all kind of doing very creative and original things, and just their sort of takes on different aspects of your work as well can be quite inspirational.
So tell us about Ce-Leathergoods and a little bit about what you do.
Yes, of course. I make handmade leather satchels, bags and accessories. I've also made luggage before now. They tend to be kind of slightly heavier, larger products, so maybe for more formal use. I do make day bags, things like that, less formal wear, but what seems to go particularly well and what works really well for me are the satchels and the briefcases, the laptop bags, that kind of thing. I make a range of accessories as well, which kind of match the bags, which add a really nice sideline, and also, make really nice gifts for people, and means that people can own a little bit of Catherine Edwards, even if they don't have to invest hundreds of pounds in a huge piece of luggage or whatever. I do quite a lot of commissions and take on a lot of customers through word of mouth. So quite a lot of the time I'll have somebody coming to me saying, my friend has bought a bag, or I've seen a bag that somebody was carrying on a train going to Leeds. I want to know where I can get one. Can I get one like it? And I'll work with a customer to produce the bag that they want, specifically tailored for their needs.
Have you ever had any strange requests?
Oh, God, all the time. But, no, not really strange, but certainly sort of people, I've a dog carrier. That's probably the strangest I've had, actually.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
It was gorgeous. It was a gorgeous dog carrier, but it was a dog carrier.
Yeah,
but
I think because your leather is so sturdy and, as you say, it's meant to last a lifetime, and also it gets better with age.
Absolutely. I think it is so structural. It is perfect for keeping a little dog safe.
A little doggy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. I love that. I love that image. When you come to first design a bag, what's the first thing you do?
Well, quite a lot of the time I'll be working from something that already exists. So I might change the dimensions, I might change strap length, handle, design. Possibly sometimes it'll start with the leather. So if I get a new piece of leather in, I haven't had before, and it is particularly beautiful, I think it'll suit a particular design, and I'll just tweak it to make it look its absolute best, Quite often I'll see bags, I'll be out somewhere and I'll see something and I'll think, gosh, that's actually a really clever way of doing whatever it is, of sewing up a side seam or making a buckle work or whatever, and I'll incorporate that into a new design. So, the inspiration comes kind of from various different places. Quite often, you'll just be flicking through a magazine and you'll see something, and that's fantastic.
Yes.
And maybe it'll even just be a colour, and that'll inspire me to kind of make.
Yes, because I do like your colours. You've got quite vibrant colours. You've got the standard kind of obviously black and brown and things like that.
Yeah.
But often you'll come out with these gorgeous reds and mustards.
It's quite a new introduction, actually. The more vibrant colours are very much a new direction for me. I always try to stick to very natural colours because it was a particular way of dyeing the leather that meant there wouldn't be vast amounts of chemical runoff. Obviously, it's good for the environment. However, I have discovered a new source of leather which uses transfer printing.
Oh, wow.
Which means that just literally the surface of the leather is coloured. And it's coloured as if you were sticking a transfer on the top of it.
Yeah.
So that means there's absolutely no chemical wastage whatsoever, coming from that. So it means it's ethically aware and it's ecologically sound.
Very good. I like that.
To feel.
So have you done the art market before?
Yes, I've actually done it twice before. This will be my third time.
Wow.
Yeah, which is fantastic. And it's been brilliant for me. It's close to where I live. I love Holmfirth anyway. It's just a lovely little town. It's very similar to Hebden Bridge, so it's like home from home.
Yeah.
And the people who run the art market are so lovely and friendly. It's literally one of the nicest shows that I've ever done, and I've done quite a lot now.
What do you love most about what you do?
I love so many things about what I do, but I suppose mostly I love this sense of freedom that I have. The fact that every day I go into work and I do something different, and if I don't want to do a particular thing, I don't necessarily have to do it. I love the fact that my private customers will commission me to do the weird and wonderful, make them dog carriers or golf bags or map holders or all the other bizarre things that I've had to make. I love it that they make my brain work and I have to think through problems. I love the sense of history that I get with the actual practical work. And the fact that I get to use the skills that I've learnt over years and built up over years every day, you know. I suppose I actually really like the business part of it as well. I like the fact that I'm evolving the business all the time, that it never stands still, that I'm able to change my outlook, to change my sense of direction and my focus. And if something isn't working, I just change again, try something different, you know. Also, I mean, I have two very young children, so I'm able to fit the business in around them and work when I can really, really hard. And when I can't, I'm able to just take that little bit of time to concentrate on them. And while they're still so young, I feel that's really important, you know. And as they get older, I'll be able to grow the business more. I'm starting to work more and more and more now as they get older.
They can work for you?
They can work for me. I'll apprentice them once they get to school age. Yes. In between going up chimneys and mixing concrete, that kind of thing, you know. So, yeah, obviously if they wanted to become what I am, then goodness me, you know, far be it from me to stop them. I think that would be fantastic.
What shows have you got coming up?
First one coming up at the end of September, the 25th, down in Betsy Coed in North Wales. It's the Contemporary Cymru Fair, organised by Catherine Mostyn-Jones, who's a sculptor. Then Holmfirth Art Market. I have a little local exhibition going on at the local National Trust property, Gibson's Mill in Harcost Crags near Hebden Bridge, Christmas exhibition.
Oh, that'll be beautiful.
It will. I'm hoping it's going to be twinkly and glitty and that kind of thing. It'll be gorgeous. We've got open studios coming up first week in December. I have my biggest show 4 days long down in Hereford, the Hereford Contemporary Craft Fair, which is, really the big one this Christmas and the one I'm sort of working really, really hard towards. And then just before Christmas, 100% Handmade in Ilkley, which should be my final show, and I should be able to just relax into Christmas then.
Where can we buy your work?
Well, there's various different avenues you can go down, but I would say the most direct and the easiest way to buy my work is through my website, which is www.ce-leathergoods.com. And I'm quite happy to kind of communicate with you in terms of dimensions or a specific commission, birthday present, Christmas present, or whatever, because I like working with customers and it's nice to provide something that's exactly what a customer wants.
What's next for Ce-Leathergoods?
Well, Fiona, I have a few little projects on the go at the moment, but one particularly I'm very excited about. I can't say too much about it at the moment, but it's all sort of under investigation and just coming up with the new designs at the moment and locating bits and bobs that I need to make it work. Watch this space, basically.
And before you go, can you tell us about your royal connection?
The royal connection. Basically, the company that I used to work for, that I was apprenticed to when I was in my very early 20s, John Lobb of London, St James's, make Prince Charles's shoes. They actually also make the Queen's shoes. So I have that connection, but also my leather comes from the same saddlery that supplies the royal family with their leather. So they have quite a distinct connection, and there has been an interest expressed from the chap that I actually buy my leather in sending one of my bags to Prince Charles, who is a well-known champion of traditional crafts and sort of keeping up with the old skills, that kind of thing. Apparently he would appreciate something that's made by hand from top quality British leather.
Yes, I agree. Oh, well, it's been lovely speaking to you, Catherine, and I look forward to seeing you at the art market.
Yes, I'll be there on the first week. It's the 7th of November. I think I'm actually upstairs this time, so come and see me.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
If you'd like to know more about the art markets, go to www.artmarkets.co.uk.